Ecological Purification System, JICA Hiroshima Lecture on July 9.2025. Part 2 Quest for Pure Water from SSF to EPS. I summarized Quest for Pure Water in 8 minutes YouTube video. Please watch this. Modern water supply system was developed during the Age of Discovery, that was the textile industry period in Glasgow, Scotland. John Gibb created an artificial spring water in a riverbed to wash away dye from dyed fabric. During the Industrial Revolution, many people concentrated in cities, and urban rivers became polluted. The River Thames in London during the Industrial Revolution was highly polluted. James Simpson was 24 years old in 1823, when he joined his father's Chelsea Water Company and made a 2,000 miles tour of inspection around England. This became known as the quest for pure water. James Simpson surveyed various parts of the UK for clean water. He made clear filtrate from polluted Thames water at the age of 28 years in 1827. At first decanting basin, and passed the slow sand filter by downward current. Then, he made practical use of filter in 1829, at the age of 30 years. It was said that even the polluted water of the River Thames could be made free of pathogens by using slow sand filtration. After that, slow sand filtration spread around the world as English filter. The original filter rate was only 10 centimeters per hour. Then, the world's most widely used English filtration rate was 20 centimeters per hour, which is 4.8 meter per day. We have to remember the water depth was only 38 centimeters above the sand filter. In 1838, James Simpson pointed out that slow sand filtration had greater removal capacity than mechanical filtration. Did Simpson feel that biological activity was involved? This history was written in this book by M. N. Baker in 1949, The Quest for Pure Water. You can read this book through the net. Clear evidence of the effectiveness of slow sand filtration came in 1892. A cholera epidemic broke out in Hamburg, killing 7,500 people. However, in the neighbor city of Altona, which was supplied with water that had been filtered by slow sand, there were almost no deaths. Robert Koch investigated bacteria in tap water and reported that water is safe for preventing cholera and typhoid if the general bacterial count is less than 100 per milliliter. This idea and values are carried over to the current WHO drinking water standards. This idea does not require complete sterilization. This is an acceptable risk. Normally, even if we are exposed to small number of pathogens, humans have a strong immune system and are fine. Reduce the risk of danger, dilute it, or make it an acceptable level. In 1893, a report from a water purification plant in Berlin stated that only the upper part of the sand layer was polluted. The erosion was deep in winter and shallow in summer. The report said that temperature and solar radiation are related, that biological phenomena are involved, but that mechanical removal is the greater factor. He can't get over the image of the name slow sand filtration that Simpson first mentioned. Slow sand filtration removed pathogens from the polluted water of the Thames, making it safe to drink. The filtered basin was open because the pathogens had already been removed. I found there were some open filtrate basin. Poughkeepsie filter plant in New York, USA, Ilion filter plant in USA. Vartry Water Works, Dublin, Ireland. There was Clearwater BSSIN is open in 1998. The inland of North America is extremely cold in winter in comparison with Europe. Development of rapid sand filtration with coagulation and chemical sedimentation treatment to combat turbid water. The rivers of the New World were less polluted by farmland and cities. There was little food for living things. Biological activity was poor. During extreme cold, the organisms were unable to active and the filtration ponds became clogged. Chemical treatment system of rapid sand filter against turbid water. Rediscovery of slow sand filter without chemicals as more safe treatment system. In 1962, Rachel Carson published Silent Spring. It warned that the pesticide DDT was causing biological condensation, killing not only insects but also other unexpected organisms. It was pointed out the dangers of chlorinated compounds. Rober Harris point out the risk of carcinogens in chemically treated tap water, the risk of asbestos pipes, etc. A large-scale outbreak of diarrhea caused by cryptozoa that had passed through rapid sand filtration. In April 1993, an outbreak of diarrhea caused by cryptozoa occurred in Milwaukee, USA, affecting 400,000 people. Rapid sand filtration was carried out through the backwash process. Rapid sand filtration is recognized as a completely defective process. In September 1994, the American Water Works Association held a workshop on slow sand filtration in Salem, Oregon. They said refocus, rediscovery, timeless technology for modern application. And another person said, however, people loves new technology. Development of eco-friendly and chemical-free turbidity countermeasures, upflow roughing filter. Luiz D. Bernardo, University São Paulo, Brazil experimented the effect of upflow roughing filter with his master student in 1980. And he presented at the International Conference on Slow Sand Filtration, London, 1988. At the International Conference in 1988, Martin Wegelin from Switzerland reviewed past roughing filters. International joint experiment started. In 1996, a roughing filter manual was published by Switzerland. After I got the roughing filter manual, I tried the effect of URF with my student. And we made a pilot experiment. It has good settling properties of drained sludge and is similar to activated sludge in sewage treatment, where the biological community is active. We found the key was the activity of biological communities in roughing filter. There is downward current. This is gentle for small organisms. The sand does not move even when the flow rate changes. Photosynthesis is dependent on the amount of solar radiation. Algae produce oxygen, making it easier for animals to thrive. The activity of microorganisms and animals is related to temperature. Hungry microscopic animals will eat anything. Hungry animals move around in search of food and will eat anything they can. There is short-time work. It only takes a split second for the microscopic organisms to capture food and turbidity. The food that is eaten passes through the intestinal tract in a short time and is immediately excreted as feces. And there is long-time action. Decomposition takes place over a long period of time within the feces. Fermentation progresses in the anaerobic environment with a lack of oxygen, breaking down polymers into smaller molecules. When observed under a microscope, algae and other tiny organisms are at work. In slow sand filters, the food chain is the key to purification, eating and being eaten. Chironomid is not same as mosquito. Chironomid larvae are active on the muddy surface, sandy surface, and upper part of the sand layer. These environments with currents have dissolved oxygen. The mosquito larvae float on the water surface, drifting with their tails up. Their tails act as respiratory organs, and they bring them to the surface to breathe. Algae grow on the sand surface. Animals work near the surface of sand layer where food comes. Hungry organisms works in this system. Slow means gentle for any small organisms. Slow sand filtration, which originated in the UK 200 years ago, was reborn in Japan as the Ecological Purification System, EPS. From Japan, EPS began to spread throughout the world. Trust our sense. A large-scale outbreak of diarrhea caused by cryptozoa that had passed through rapid sand filtration in April 1993. Refocus to slow sand filtration after the large-scale outbreak of diarrhea caused by cryptozoa. Slow sand filter creates artificial spring water. This is delicious, safe water. Don't believe commercial. Please trust our sense. This lecture continues to next part 3.